In this giant box right here, which barely fits into frame, I have the most overpowered laptop I've ever tried. This Acer Helios 18 has a Core i9, an RTX 5090, and its 96GB of memory are downright insulting in this current market. And well, here it is, the star of the show. Well, not yet, that's just a box. There's the star of the show. Well, okay, still not yet because it's hidden in this sleeve, but if we unpack it from there, well, there is the actual star of the show. And to be fair, it's not as bad weight-wise as I expected. I mean, don't get me wrong, this thing is still ridiculously heavy at 3.5 kilos. So if this is your kind of daily driver that you put in your bag or backpack every single day, then after a week you're gonna still end up looking like Schwarzenegger, but still the box was doing quite a bit of the work there. Anyway, let's open it up and ain't it a beauty? Granted, it does have some things that already annoy me, like how much space is being taken up by this co-pilot button right here. There's also some additional Predator button here, which I don't know what it does, but it's probably also not going to be that useful. But oh man, these effects, you don't just get stuff on the keyboard, not just here, but even, look at this, right. Okay, did you guys hear that? I was not expecting that kind of noise in startup. Already, all I'm seeing is the desktop, but I'm already in love with this display right here. It's 3840 by 2400, 120 Hz, not to mention the fact that it has HDR 1000 certification. Before we actually go and test those insane specs I teased you with, I wanted to see what the cooling is like on this thing, to see exactly what it takes to handle that kind of stuff. But as you can see, there's a warranty sticker right here, and I didn't want my Acer rep who sent me this to be mad at me. Well, okay, I do already know a bit about how it's called, because I was actually invited to Acer's R&D facility in Taipei a while back, and they showed me exactly what the 6th generation fans and this kind of model look like. I just wanted to go in and plug in the Ethernet to actually download the benchmarks, but then I noticed exactly how insane the I/O on this is. So on this side, it's starting off rather tame, right? So you just get yourself your casual 5 gig Ethernet on a laptop, followed by a USB Type-A port, an SD card slot, and also a combo audio jack. Then turning it around to the other side, we get ourselves 2 additional USB Type-A ports, and then finally at the back, we get ourselves a charging port, which kind of looks like USB-A but isn't, HDMI 2.1, and also 2 Thunderbolt 5 ports. So that's 80 gigs each. Okay, I just got Cyberpunk installed, to be fair, given how much storage space we have here, I could install like a bajillion extra things. I mean, 3 terabytes in total, but unfortunately, as you can see, it's split across 3 drives. I hate it so much when laptop manufacturers do that. Just give us one really big drive, and then if we need to upgrade in the future, then we have the spare M.2 slots to do it without having to first remove those drives and then not have anything to do with them. Like, why is this a thing unless they just had a bunch of 1 terabyte drives spare they had to get rid of? Another thing, all I've done so far is install Cyberpunk from really big things, so why on earth is over 200 gigs of a drive used up already? How much bloatware is on this thing? Now, memory-wise, can actually add configs of up to 192 gigs of DDR5 memory, or you can just upgrade to that yourself if you even find that much RAM nowadays. So in this 96 gig model, it's spread across 2 sticks. That means that you still have 2 DIMMs left for upgrading in the future. However, it's running kind of slow. I teased you guys long enough, let's see exactly how this thing performs. Like I said, it comes with a laptop 5090, and in terms of the CPU, well, you're getting yourself a Core Ultra 290HX+. So that's 8 performance cores, 16 efficiency cores, and a max turbo of 5.5 GHz. Okay, 3840 by 2400, that's more than 4K. Everything here is going to be maxed out. We are going to have frame gen on, and at least some basic DLSS, because, well, that's just 2026 for you. And then we're going to have path tracing as well, of course. And even though it's just a benchmark, I'm going to still disable film grain, chromatic aberration, and motion blur, just for the sake of, well, principle. Man, is this thing loud when running this benchmark. I don't know if you can even hear me over it, but look at that performance. Almost 50 FPS max settings on a laptop. And we're only at 2x frame gen. 47 and almost a half path trace maxed out Cyberpunk, ladies and gentlemen, running on a laptop. Look at our thermals after that, 104 degrees max there on the CPU, and like still up in the 90s. Our GPU is doing a lot better at around 80 degrees, max at 82, so that's actually fine, kind of. But that's what I'd expect given the noise. Okay, next up, I want to see Cinebench, and I want to see exactly how this CPU is able to rip through that. 7,116 is the final score here. Let's talk about what you're probably the most interested in, the price. How much will the pinnacle of performance in terms of gaming on the go cost you? Well, obviously there's quite a few configurations to choose from, which not only differ in storage and memory, but also in CPU and GPU. Configs with the 275HX or an RTX 5080 are also available. However, the top of the line for each, well, that's going to start at around $4,500, and that's just for 32 gigs and 1 terabyte of storage. In Europe, you can get it for around 6,000 euros, and that's for the exact same amount of memory as you store right here, but with 1 terabyte of storage less. And then finally, in Great British pounds, well, they start at around £4,500 for 32 gigabytes of RAM and then 2 terabytes of storage. I don't even have a joke for that. That's just ridiculous. And yes, granted, part of that is very much going to be the current memory and flash storage situation going on. With that much memory and that much NVMe storage, well, obviously that's going to inflate the price a bit. So while it maybe doesn't make too much sense for a lot of people, it's still a pretty nice exploration of what can be done in a mobile form factor nowadays and how much performance can be squeezed out of a laptop. But I want to hear from you guys. Is this thing actually worth that kind of money? Well, let me know down in the comments below. And while you're at it, maybe also check out our Patreon, because at least it's a lot more reasonably priced. Plus, huge thanks to Gavin Burns, Justin Rage, Ella Ronyak, Belash Voka, another pseudonym, Meg Sumner, Shin Allcroft, and Mason Magruder. I can barely fit into frame with this thing right here, but anyway, that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then remember to subscribe, like whatever, and I'll see you all in whatever I make next. Goodbye everyone. Goodbye.